Sippin' and Strummin'. Whoa, whoo, yeah. Howdy, sippers. What's up, strummers? It's Brad back. Episode 18, Sippin' and Strummin'. How are y'all? I hope you're well. It's the holiday season again. I think it's about a year since my first pod, and this is 18. I think it was November of last year, right around Thanksgiving, and this is number 18. So not what you would call prolific, but I enjoy it. It's fun to, when I have some ideas to, put it out there. I'm sipping a Four Hands peanut butter chocolate milk stout. Another one of my favorite holiday type beers that comes out. It's not for everybody. I'm not a huge sweet and adjunct laden beer guy, but this one for some reason it just hits for me. I like it. Absence of Light, it's called. Get the chocolate, you get the peanut butter, the milk stout. It's sweet, but not incredibly, for me, sweet. I looked at last podcast and it looked a little bit out of focus, a little blurry. I haven't really investigated it yet. It might have been me that was out of focus. I don't know. It might be that iPhone 8 over there. So if this one turns up out of focus, I mean, I'm not going to unpost it and do it again. I don't have passion like that. But I might, if this one's blurry, either going to get a new phone before I post the next one, or find a therapist maybe. So I had wished that I had. My goal was to get a turkey. We go to our about 10 or 12 of my closest friends in Chicago. We get together every Thanksgiving, and my goal was to bring a turkey this year. But of course, you all know that was a failed, miserable fall turkey hunt experience in Moline, Rock Island County, Illinois. But it is perch and brown trout season just upon us up there in Lake Michigan. So maybe I can bring a brown trout, as they would say back in Pittsburgh, for the guys to cook up. The proverbial Thanksgiving trout. My friend John cooks it. He's hosted it every year, except this year they bought a new house, and it's, in various forms of renovation and things like that. So we moved it up to our friend Chris and Sarah's place in Rogers Park. They have a really spacious place, and he's not a professional chef, but he plays one on TV. That guy can cook up a storm. Last year he made duck butter. I mean, the butter at the table he made, or chicken fat butter or duck fat butter. I don't know what it was. It was amazing. I told you last year, Chateaubriand I had last Thanksgiving, 2 Thanksgivings ago for the first time ever. And his partner that in crime for Thanksgiving that cooks is a good friend of ours, Brad Sewell. And I think he used to be the executive chef of the Goose Island Catering Division. Badass. That's what he does for a living, is chef. I think I could take probably a fucking fistful of hermit crabs to them and they'd turn it into something quite delicious. So hopefully I can, get some trout. Let's see, what else? Bar, I work in a bar. I have my whole life, either played music or poured whiskey. Very busy time of year, somewhat stressful. While everybody's out there playing, we're working. It's good money. It's good vibe overall. I was thinking about the work in the bar industry the other day, and it's like, imagine what you do for work. Now imagine doing that while your client is right in front of you, or every one of your clients is standing right in front of you, watching you do it or waiting for you to get it done. It's crazy. and the whole time, you know, they feel good. They've had a couple drinks, so they're asking you questions about your life and about things, you know, while you're trying to knock a line of 45 people out, you know. You still playing music? That's the one. The 10,000th time I hear, when's your next gig? That's the one I told you about last time I saw you. Or I say, no, I gave that up. Picked up taxidermy. Come over to my basement. I'll show you some of my work. I know it's pretty low stake. It's relatively low stakes. It's just fucking, you know, bar work, but, you know, it's how I pay my rent and fill my belly. So, you know, the stakes are high for me. You know, I have to make somebody feel heard and seen and valued, but not hurried and sort of on the inside. You know what I mean? Some of my bar guests are my friends, and they actually are in the inside. And some of them, maybe not so much. My battery just died on my iPad, and I had these lyrics to this song I was going to play later. But we will march on. We will press on. You might hear a lot of you know, but it's good work. A lot of things I like about the bar work. You know, I can pretty much make my own schedule. I can request off whenever I want, work whenever I want. That's very beneficial. Lots of young people. I'm always the oldest person where I work. I like it though, man. It keeps me feeling young. It keeps a certain energy around me and in the place. When I look at my other 50-some-year-old friends that my age that don't, you know, I mean, I don't know. Do they know about aura farming, whatever, like I do? Have they learned about looks maxing? I think not. You know, where else would I learn that I'm unk and that, you know, I'm cooked in the chat? I don't know. Probably not in a cubicle somewhere where everybody else is the same station in life with the same age-year-old kids as me and the same, you know, everything. But also it's, even though I go to the same place every day and it's the same job pretty much, like the people are different. Like I don't, you know, speaking of cubicles, I'm not in a business where everybody is doing the same job all day long or same version of the same product, you know, or the same job or something. Like I get to talk to people. You know, one of my favorite jobs was for my favorite locations, I actually had a good time. One of my favorite jobs was at the steakhouse out by the convention center. And every week it was different. It was trading card, baseball card guys. Then it was plastic manufacturers. And then it was a sports card show, or a Comic-Con. You know, and you'd get Kato Kalin and Cyndi Lauper walking in the door with Denny Trejo, and you know, and then it's Exotica the next week, the Triple X kind of a thing, you know, where I saw a woman and a man talking at the bar. It was on a Sunday night. It was the last night of Exotica. It was pretty slow in the place, and there was a man, younger woman and a man. She was clearly at the Exotica in the business in some way, and then a lone guy down at the other end of the bar walk across the bar, say a few things to the people. She stood up, you know, slid her little panties down, gave them to the guy, and he gave her a certain amount of hundreds or money or whatever, walked back down the bar, sat down, got back on his phone and got back into his old fashioned or whatever he was drinking. And this guy over here, her manager or her boyfriend, lots of times both probably, didn't even bat an eye. So I like that, you know, you meet a whole bunch of people, a whole lot of doors and avenues and experiences can open up for you. Things I don't like, of course, is the bullshit, you know, like, well, first of all, I get up earlier now. I don't know. I don't know if I'm at the age where I need less sleep. My body's not recovering. God almighty, I hope not. But I'll get up at 9 or something, and then I've got pretty much an entire 8-hour day before I go into my 8-hour shift. So that's kind of challenging. Let's see, what else? I don't like how oblivious people are. I think I spoke about this in one other episode, about bar etiquette and stuff. Like, do not in a busy bar flag me down, hey, gotta see. And then I go, hey, what's up? And you turn to your people and go, what are you having? What are you having? Donna, what are you having? Billy, what do you want? What did you have that last time we were here? I'm gone. You got to get that shit tidied with a bow on it by the time I come over. 2 beers, a lager, whatever, espresso martini, boom, I got you. Cool. Stand in line for 4 minutes when it's real busy with a huge draft board in front of you and get up and go. And I go, hey, what's up? Who's next, buddy? You have any IPAs? Yeah, motherfucker, I got IPAs. I got 4 of them on the board right behind you. Get your face out of your phone while you're in line. Also, I definitely mentioned this one in a previous episode. If you drink the same fucking thing every day, especially in coffees, which I don't make coffees, but like, don't make me ask the questions. If you want a Grey Goose vodka martini, extra dry up with an olive, order a fucking Grey Goose martini. Don't be like, let me have a martini. Oh yeah, gin or vodka? Vodka. What kind of vodka? Grey Goose. Garnish. Fuck you. Fuck you. It's like coffee people. I don't understand it. They'll come in 5 days a week to our bar, our coffee bar that we have during the day, and be like, yeah, let me get a latte. The fuck do you want? What size do you want it? Do you want it iced? Do you want it hot? Do you want it to go? Do you want it for here? You order the same goddamn thing every day for your entire life. Lord almighty. But overall, I like it. I think about I was never just interested in anything they had to offer at Career Day. I never wanted to be anything like that. And I think maybe sometimes I look at people in our neighborhood that make $600,000 a year. We work in Lakeview, which was at some point in the past few years, one of the most desirable real estate areas to buy a house in the country. So there's a lot of really well off people. A lot of them are really cool. And I used to think, God, I want like the things that they have, but there's no goddamn way I wanted to do the things they do to get it. Hell no. And then I would think, what if I had more money, what would my life lack really? Or what would I gain? What am I lacking right now? And the answer is not much. Healthcare. I could get old without worrying about paying for healthcare. That seems nice. I don't lack for experience. I don't lack for good people in my life, for love, for I eat, I go wherever I want, do everything. So and I've never desired like nice cars and nice things. So like any of that stuff, that's not me, but the healthcare thing. So anyway, I think that for somebody without a college degree to be able to make, and I don't have a family to support, to be able to make the money that I make and support myself and carve out the little living that I do, I'm grateful and I enjoy it. So I'll tell a couple bar stories right now, and then I'll tell you why I'm telling you these at the end. One bar I used to work at in South Oakland in Pittsburgh, really where I learned how to bartend. I was a young man. And this dude Mike came in one time. I came in for my shift. It was kind of busy. It was one of those nights around the holidays where snow was supposed to come in, and it was maybe a Saturday, and you go in and there's a big buzz around, and it kind of peters out as the night goes on. And then a heavy snowfall started to come in, and I walked in for my shift at 5, and I guess a guy during the day had just broke the record for the most 22-ounce margaritas ever drank there. I think it was 7 or something. I don't know. And he was a professional. We all knew this guy, and he was fine. And then it kind of died down, and maybe the opening bartender went away, and then I was there by myself, and the snow was falling, and we had a curved bar. It was a really small place, and maybe a couple of my friends were sitting up at the curve of the bar right by this picture window, and we were right at the intersection of the street light, and we were watching the snow fall, and just it was just lovely. We were talking, and this dude Mike came in, and he goes, "Hey, what's up?" And he was always kind of this loud guy, young guy too. He was probably at Pitt. It was at the university. It was on the University of Pittsburgh, kind of like Carnegie Mellon, Robert Morris campus, right in Oakland there. And I go, "Hey, Mike, what's up?" He said, "What's going on today?" I go, "Oh, not much. Pretty slow. the snow and everything. And earlier this guy just broke the record for most big margaritas. He goes, I'm gonna break that record. And I go, okay, do it. I would never do that now. I was probably 25, 24. We didn't know the perils of, drinking and doing whatever. I don't know. And I said, if you do it, I'll buy all your drinks. So I give him one 22-ounce big-ass on-the-rocks margarita, and he puts it right back straight. And I go, oh. I'm like, okay. I know this was not the way to go about tackling that record. Then I give him another one, and he drinks it. I don't know how fast, and a third. And I don't remember between what and what. He just disappears and hits the floor. He drank it so fast. You know how like those kids die when they're pledging or when they're doing, frat kind of stuff or hazing, and they drink too fast, 21 shots, 22 shots. And then by the time it hits them, they're dead. So he hits the ground, and I'm like, holy shit, Mike. And we call the 911, and the fire truck comes because I guess they're the first to respond all the time. And it's just silent night, quiet night, snow falling under. And they come in, and he had his foot twisted up in the bar. There was still a bar rail around the bottom where you'd put your foot up on. And the firefighter puts his shoe up. He goes, there's his shoe. And they get him out, and he goes, the firefighter's like, I think he might have been on something else. And, knowing that I may be in trouble, I go, yeah, I think he was. Yeah, you're right. But they got him out of there and left, and I never saw that guy again, ever. I don't know what happened to Mike, but we had his shoe behind the bar for a long, long time. Another story is this one time this girl, Natalie, I'm going to call her because I'm fucking American, but she was Montreal. She was from Montreal. She was French Canadian. Natalie, she called herself. Beautiful black-haired girl. She was au pair. She was an au pair in Pittsburgh, and she was here, for a while on a work visa or something, and came into the bar, and we hit it off and started talking. And then we started to hang out and hooking up, and all that stuff, doing the thing 25-year-old people do. Well, everybody does, I guess. And then she came in one time with this girl. She brought this one girl in, this girl Ramona, and she was just your fucking cliche German, 6 feet tall, blonde, beautiful girl, blue eyes, Ramona. They had met in ESL, I guess, class, English second language. I was like, wow, that's cool. And then a couple months later, Natalie and I continued to hang out and hook up and have a good time. And then she came in one night, Natalie, and said, I'm going back to Canada. And I was like, oh, no, that's too bad. And she said, do you want to get together one more time? And I said, yeah, of course. She goes, you want me to bring my friend? And I go, yeah, of course. So the night came, and I got the best room at the Super 8 in Wexford with the jacuzzi in it. Which makes me shudder when I think about that now, getting into a Super 8 jacuzzi. And we went, and I had my guitar, and we had some drinks. Got a little buzz, went in the hot tub, all of us. Things started to pop off a little bit, The kids say pop off anymore? Probably not. I'll have to ask my friends at work. And then we move it over to the bed. And, I have had a few threesomes in my life, but this was the only girl-guy threesome. I've had a couple, 2 guys and a girl threesome. Shout out Izzy. But I think really the appeal of it is that you get women that are kind of into each other, and they kind of do some things together. This was not the case. They couldn't have been less interested in each other physically and sexually. So basically it turned into like me, Natalie, Ramona. And it was cool. I'm not bitching about it, As far as threesomes go, it was probably not one of the betters, but and then I'm with Ramona on the bed, and I realize that Natalie is gone at some point, and I hear, and I look up, and she had passed out in the hot tub, which, as you get older, you realize you don't get drunk and sit in a hot tub. It's not one of the safest things in the world, but we're 25, we don't know. So I run over, and I pull her out, and I get her standing in the middle of the room, and she kind of comes to, or, whatever, becomes aware, and I don't know, because I've never spoken to her about this, but I think she probably thought that maybe I was manhandling her or something. I don't know. So she starts just hitting me in the face and obviously reverting to her native language, and starts yelling at me in French. And Ramona pops up and comes over, and she's in between us, and nine, Achtung, whatever. I'm not sure what, but we had all reverted to our languages, and it's like it was intense, like a Tarantino opening scene, and all three of us naked in the middle of the room, French, English, and German, trying to sort this whole thing out. It got sorted out eventually, and we laid down, and I played a few tunes, maybe sang a little bit, and they fell asleep. And I threw my guitar in a case and got my clothes on, and I fucking left. And I never saw them again, and I don't know what happened there. But those are a couple bartending stories from my life. All this to say, I was thinking the other day about how robots and, how we're kind of evolving to have, I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but to have no skills, and how, like, I read about the first automated trucking, route has happened. And it's just going to be a matter of time before trucking is gone. It's just, they already have robots delivering DoorDash, and they have driverless cars in major cities and stuff. So trucking routes seem easy. You're going to load it up at a fucking bay, and it's going to go almost like a slot car, GPS, and just go down a highway and go someplace. So I was thinking about bartending work, and, I've seen automated drink mixing bartending machines and stuff. Not bartending, but drink making machines. And I thought, wonder if that'll be ever a thing. And, maybe I'll be dead before then, hopefully. But, and I said no, because people still want that human connection. They want to go in and talk to you about things and like that kind of thing. When I was in New York bartending's like a fucking part of those people's family. The bartender is in that culture in New York. I don't know if it's all East Coast. You guys can fill me in. My friend Sam from Boston says that's not the case there, but, like a bartender is probably like, they probably invite you to their fucking kids, christening or, and that stuff. Chicago kind of too. So I thought that'll never happen. But then I realized the way that things are going, people are becoming more and more isolated in their phones and in their own, I don't want to use the word virtual reality, but like, so I guess I'm saying you try to put like a robot bartender in 30 years ago, 40 years ago, down at your neighborhood bar, where Smitty's bartending, whatever. Fuck no. But the more that people evolve or devolve into these own self-functioning, I've seen it. I said in another podcast, I've seen the way people behave at bars and how the interaction, people are afraid to speak to each other. It's, once they do, I find it's cool. People are like, but like they're that initial step where people, interact is I've seen it. It's just way different the way people interact over the past 25 years. So 30 years ago, you try to put a robot bartender or a drink machine in some place, and I think people would fucking be up in arms. Same with a trucker probably and stuff. But as people dive and become more and more, invested in that world of isolation, it won't be such a strange thing. They have checkout, cashierless grocery stores where you go in and they just film everything that you're taking and charge your card. So yeah, it could certainly become that at some point in the future. But I ask you, can a robot almost kill a guy with margaritas? I don't think so. Can a robot go home with two lovely ladies and have a threesome in a Super 8? Save one of them from perhaps asphyxiating? Is that the word? Drowning? I don't know. Maybe not the first generation of robots, but I'm going to say no. Here's a song by James Taylor, or at least as much of it that I'll remember till I quit because I can't remember the lyrics. I'm just a bartender, and I don't like my work, but I don't mind the money at all. See, Lots of sad faces, lots of bad cases of folks with their backs to the wall. But I need four walls around me to hold my life, to keep me from going astray. And a honky-tonk angel to hold me tight, to keep me from slipping away. Light up your smoke, I can laugh at your jokes, I can watch you fall down on your knees. Can go down this bar, can gas up my car, can pack up, I can mail in a keys. But I need four walls around me to hold my life, to keep me from going astray. And a honky-tonk angel to hold me tight, to keep me from slipping away. Now smoke fills the air of this honky-tonk bar, but I'm thinking about where I'd rather be. But I've sank all my ships, I think is how it goes. And I've sank all my ships, whoops. And I'm stranded at the edge of the sea. But I need four walls around me to hold my life, to keep me from going astray. And a honky-tonk angel to hold me tight, to keep me from going astray, to keep me from slipping away, to keep me from slipping away. Fumbled that last verse, but you get the idea. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely fucking holiday, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Sippin' and